Tim Pool is a content creator whose content I really enjoy. I think he's smart, he's on his ball, and one of my favorite parts about what he does is that he puts his bias on his sleeve. You know, he's just like, hey, this is where I stand with this issue. He makes it very, very clear. Now, since Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez hopped up on stage one time and said how she's the boss and you guys got to sit from the cheap seats, Tim has been on a rampage against her, okay? He does not like her at all anymore. I mean, initially, and it's just like almost everybody else who's been paying attention that considers themselves on the left or progressive, she just turned out to be terrible as far as what she represents. Not much different than the Jess Phillips woman that I spoke of in a previous video. But in this video right here, he's talking about how she released a tweet talking about how, you know, older members of Congress need to get up on this online thing because she doesn't have to sit on the phone and beg people for money, which, as he goes on to say, highlights an issue with the online raising, because she's not getting that money's not coming from her constituents. That money, her support, her financial support is coming from the Young Turks, the Justice Democrats, and all these other progressive handlers that she has. And that's a very dangerous thing for American politics. But there is a issue when it comes to her election that I feel that Tim firmly misunderstands. I don't want to say he gets it wrong, because he's not wrong. It's an exploit. But I feel like he has a misunderstanding of it. So let's just let this rock and we'll get into it.
We have a serious problem with external meddling. How do you stop the Young Turks from supporting someone? Well, you can't really do it, right? You can't really do it. So I don't know how you solve this problem, but I will say what we're seeing now with the far-left Democrats is national resources being poured in to get people in the district to elect those who otherwise would not have been supported.
And that's something that happened here in New Jersey with Phil Murphy, except he didn't need national resources because Phil Murphy was a billionaire with Goldman Sachs money. He came through and dropped dollars in every Democratic county, and like every Democratic county committee. And so come time for him to be elected come time for the primaries and everything else like that, he already has a ton of establishment support because he gave him cash. And he's not even from Jersey, he's from Massachusetts. And so when the primaries does come around, one of the things he did during the primaries, before the primaries really started, was he went around and he just got everybody to drop out of the race. Everybody who could have posed a credible threat to him, like a Stephen Phillip of Jersey City, or even President Stephen Sweeney. They had a conversation, and the next day they'd be like, "Yeah, man, Phil Murphy all the way." So and now we're in the middle of a lot of gridlock in Trenton because of this tactic. So this isn't just something that's happened at the congressional level. I believe this happens at damn near every level of politics, from your council rep to your governor and your congressional and Senate representation. It's all just cash.
It is complicated because at the end of the day, her district had to support her, had to vote for her. But I'll tell you this, she won through an exploit. I've said it time and time again, AOC did not win a general election. She won a primary because most people didn't vote in the primary.
And here is the exploit that I feel he misunderstands. It's not an exploit. It's a part of the game. Every year, guys, you have 3 different elections that take place. I know most Americans believe there's only one, and it happens every 4 years for the presidency, but I gotta fill you in. There is one for your local positions, such as your council reps, your school boards. Then there is another, which is the primary. Usually the first one happens in April or around, like, you know, in spring. The second one happens at the start of the summer in June, which is the primary usually. And that's when it's Democrat versus Democrat and Republican versus Republican. The primary is when the teams go at it. And he's 130% correct. In most districts, that district is either solid blue or solid red. We like to talk about monopolies in this country a lot, right? But political monopolies are literally all over the place. We can take Essex County, New Jersey as a perfect example. If you think a Republican's going to win here anytime soon, you are out of your mind, because the Democratic establishment here is so ingrained. I mean, we're talking about Democrats and Republicans, two organizations. I was about to call them gangs, but organizations that have been around since most of us were born. Okay, and both of them being a Democrat and being a Republican, are ways of life for generations of people. So yeah, the primaries tend to be the more important one, but they are overlooked primarily because of our terrible education system and the fact that most people don't even know that the primary is happening. Most people don't know that there's 3 elections that take place every year. But to sit here and say, oh, well, she exploited it, it's sort of like saying Trump exploited the electoral college to win his position. No, he didn't. He played by the rules and he won his seat. He may not like how he won his seat, but he ended up winning his seat. And that's exactly what happened with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
When it came to the actual general, she only won because she's in a district that's so heavily blue, they're going to vote for her no matter what. As Nancy Pelosi said, in both of their districts, you could put a D on a glass of water and people would vote for it. So
that's exactly what we experienced here in New Jersey, and it's what takes place. That's how Maxine Waters and Elijah Cummings and Congressman Payne, my Congressman Donald Payne, that's how they keep their seats for so long. This is how we have so many seniors and geriatrics in our political system, is because they get in and then they lock themselves in.
Would she have won without the support of external meddling? Probably not. She was propped up by external organizations that brought in external money to get her elected. And I gotta say, it's kind of scary. Think about it. Extremely wealthy liberals or conservatives could flood a district with money to guarantee their person wins, even if they don't live there. Look, if I live somewhere, I want to know that my rep represents me.
Oh, Tom. You idealistical... I love this guy, but the deal is that that's literally what's been happening for well over the past since the moment this country was born, dude. All right, I mean, I understand that, like, you know, as we get new information and as things are, like, you know, as that light bulb goes off in our head, it's like, whoa, this thing is crazy. But it's literally the thing that's been going on since before you were born, and more than likely to continue long after you pass, you know? So with that being said, we're going to bring this one to an end. All the internet stuff. If you like this video, like it. If you dislike it, I ain't scared. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. Share, because sharing is caring. And speak. Let me know what you think. I mean, did you know that there are 3, count them, 3 elections that happen every single year? Did you know that there is an entire industry dedicated to elections and getting people elected places? Like, if you ever seen the campaign with Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis, you think the truth is stranger than fiction. Yes, there are fixers out there. There are big money donors out there. That movie really wasn't. It was played for comedy. It was played for laughs, but it was as much as of the truth as I've ever seen. And I've been in this industry for about 5 years now. So until the next one, guys. Come on. Seriously?